What's up, fight fans? Your boy P. Welsh here, bringing to you Fight Night Muhammad versus Gabriel Bonfim. Coming off a 12-0, one no contest, perfect pick'em record. Let's go. Over 400 or 300 picks, wins over losses right now. We're gonna keep up the streak, keep it going. Got women's strawweight bout: Catlin Sousa versus Ariane Kennerlosi. 16-6 Sousa versus 15-4 Kennerlosi, and yeah, pretty big favorite for Sousa. I think she'll pretty much dominate Carnellosi 3 rounds. I think she's live for a finish. Carnellosi's tough. I think it could be in the third round. Is something I'd probably like to play that with at this third round finish. Probably TKO. Carnellosi. I mean, if you watch that freaking Pereira fight, she was getting beat up and in top position. I don't see why Sousa can't get in a position like that against Carnellosi, who kind of pulls guard weirdly. But yeah, Sousa, big spot first fight. Really love it. Next up, women's flyweight: Jesla Chavez versus Eunice Dubin. Dubin coming off the loss. I think she had that miracle knockout on the Contender Series against Chavez. And yeah, that's what I'll go here because I don't think you can get any less skilled than Dubin. I really don't think she's very good at all. So I got Jesla. I think has a chance. I think she'll be a better striker. I think she's a more physical, gifted athlete. Probably got better conditioning as well. I really think she caught Shannon Clark. You know, I think that was just one of those lucky punches, and I'd be very shocked and surprised if she did well and won another fight. So I got Chavez here. Again, some of these fights are tough. Some of these fights you kind of just got to go with the gut. You know, sometimes you're good, sometimes you're bad, but this is where we are. Next up, featherweight bout. I really like this fight. Jordan Levitt, featherweight against Jordanderson Brito. Levitt 13-3 coming off a win, and Brito 18-5-1. I used to think was the featherweight boogeyman. Hasn't looked so good. Losses to Gomes and Sabatini. I mean, everybody's been losing to Sabatini. He's been missing that killer instinct there, and man, I really hate to put Levitt on the KO train, and not like he's really ever been finished. He only got finished by by submission, um, 2 rear naked chokes. I think Brito's got that potential in him, even by doing a lot of damage. I know he's got few submissions, 8 on his resume. So yeah, I think Brito can find a finish here. I think he needs a big paycheck, a big moment, and he's got to just stake some claim back in this division. Who's got a bunch of killers. It's not like I don't think Jordan Levitt has a real. I'm tremendously scared for Brito here. I always say his name funny, Brito, but Jordan Levitt's a very solid fighter, very strong fundamentals, ground game, boxing distance. It's one of those. He doesn't really fight anybody who's too substantially talented, and when he does, he gets finished. When he doesn't, it's pretty close. Davale he beat. Hollabach, he's nothing. Victor Martinez, Trey Ogden, but when he faces somebody decent, Patty Pemblett, Chase Hooper, he kind of loses. So it's one of those things where you got to pick Brito, but I definitely have a pathway to Levitt. I think it could be Brito by split decision win. Sometimes some of these the streak busters are greasy too. They're not necessarily super flashy. It's not like you're a baseball player hitting a home run to break a streak. Sometimes you gotta grind out a greasy win. Defend some really uncomfortable positions, do some damage, and advance on submissions and finishing abilities. I think Levitt's got to stay at the outside, pick him apart, and not give Jordan Anderson much to work with. It could be pretty tough to get in there, but I think Brito's got to come out with a big rebound. I think he can get a late submission, third round submission. Everybody kind of maybe touting him for, I think, a third round finish. Again, same thing. I think some of these go a little bit later. A lot of very close fights here, so a lot of third round indecisions. I like Jordan Anderson Brito, third round finish / decision. Next up, women's bantamweight: Priscilla Cachoeira versus Kelsey Chandler. Cachoeira 13-8 against Chandler 6-4, and where do we start on this one? Chandler lost to Edwards, lost to Yana Santos, beat Josie Nunez, lost to Dumont, and then beat Staralenko many years ago. Cachoeira, she was losing the entire time to Segula and kind of came back. I thought she had her. Losses to Edwards, beat Josie Nunez, Jazz DeVicious lost, Miranda Maverick, and I have to go Cachoeira here. There's just no way you can pick Kelsey Chandler. Like, as long as Cachoeira doesn't come out, I think she's even got a chance to finish her. I mean, once, especially late, second round, third round, I think once they kind of get the exchanges going, you're like, oh, Chandler might have had that first round. I think Cachoeira comes out in the second round, does some damage, and can finish it pretty strong. I think that's something that we really need to consider, and that's where I kind of like this fight ending is in the second round. Maybe even the third. I'd probably sprinkle both, but I think that second round KO, she'll fill each other out. Cachoeira get hit a little bit, and then once after she gets hit and takes some damage and she gives some back, I think Chandler will kind of fold like a lawn chair. I don't think she really has much. And I mean, at the beating that Cachoeira took in the last fight, and she still came back. And if you watch that third round, you'd be like, "Dang, she won the fight." Because I thought it was at least a split decision. I thought she could have won two of the rounds, but that second round was pretty close. So I got Cachoeira here, based off her last performance. Next up, spicy matchup, flyweight division, Bruno Silva versus Edgar Chairez. Silva 15-8, 2 draws and a no contest versus Edgar Chairez 13-6 and 1 no contest. Chairez 2 straight wins before the loss to Van at I think UFC Noche. Bruno Silva also think last loss to Josh Van. No, he lost to Charles Johnson split decision. Beat Park, lost to Van before that, and Manel Kopp. And man, this one you could go back and forth with. I think this one is a greasy decision, split, goes both ways. I can't see if there is a finish. I would think it's Bruno Silva, maybe catching a mistake of Chairez and him getting subbed. I definitely don't think Chairez is the most skilled and technical striker in the division. I think he leaves a lot to be desired in a way, and I think Bruno Silva is pretty talented considering the people that I don't like. It's been a litany of people that Chairez has faced. Up and down, no decisions. Mummy Dustin Lacerda, and then having the rebound, and then fighting worse guys, and now but I just think split decision to Philippe Bunes is just like not where you really, man. It's like I think Bruno Silva is better than him, so that's where I kind of lean in Bruno Silva here. I think Chairez has the distance. I think he'll stand, but I just think he'll lack the volume. I think he'll lack the moments to win the rounds, and I think Bruno will mix in a takedown. He might catch Chairez overextending, and I think this has a third round Bruno Silva decision written all over it. I don't think he wins in the third round finishing Chairez, but I think, he'll just get that moment in the third round and I'll be like, dang, that was Chairez's chance. He had to win the round, and, he'll get the takedown, he'll do the damage, feint a submission, and it'll be there for a couple minutes. So Bruno Silva. Let's go. Bantamweight bout, Marcus McGee versus Jan Yanis. McGee 12-2 coming off a loss. I guess that was to Piotr Jan. We got John Yanis 10-4 coming off a win against Jamie Sarai and lost to Austin Bashi before that and his UFC debut. And I mean, Marcus McGee is a volume machine. The only question is he going to be able to knock out Yanis? And I think so. I mean, the only people he hasn't knocked out, if you really look at it, was a submission guy, Jonathan Martinez, who's a dog. And he beat him. And Piotr Jan, who's a dog, and he shouldn't even been taking that fight. I just think it was, I don't know. I mean, I think it was a good for everybody fight. So I think Marcus McGee comes out here and just absolutely puts on a clinic, dude. I think he's one of the most technical strikers. I think John Yanis is not super athletic. He's super hittable, and at some point he's going to get walked down and just absolutely 10-8'd in a round and probably finish. So I like Marcus McGee. KO's pretty tough to get to against Giannis, who's never been KO'd. But I mean, this guy McGee he's pretty substantial. So maybe third round / decision, so you can play that last 10 minutes there. That way get 10 minutes to really do some damage. But I mean, I could see this guy just getting knocked down like 3 times and the ref just stopping the fight sometime in the mid-second round. So I think it'll be this one will flirt with that 1.5 line. I really do think I should have checked out the odds a little bit more before that. But Marcus McGee is one of my favorite fighters, and I think he's gonna look at having an amazing performance. It's like also there you got to check this out. And like the analogy of the UFC is these fighters that lose to better fighters than them, it makes them train harder and they rebound because they're coming off a loss. They fought somebody that was substantially better, so it's like they're unlocking a new version of themselves. Marcus McGee, let's go, baby. Next up, we got a catchweight bout. Chanel's opponent pulled out. Why am I saying Matt Chanel's name in a UFC fight against Alessandro Costa? Yeah, Costa all day, twice on Sunday. He should be able to finish Matt Chanel, who's looking like a Figueiredo type, just coming in for a paycheck here. Yeah, I don't really get it. I mean, Costa coming in for another rebound. Yeah, unless Chanel can actually catch him. But I mean, come on, it's Matt Chanel. Like, what has he done? It's 5 in a row. He's on, Jimmy Flick. He beat Jimmy Flick. Like, he's just probably just gonna be check hooked down to the ground, and it's over. Costa KO. Next up, light heavyweight bout. We got Iwo Baranowski, 8-0, coming off a win versus Junior. I avenged my big brother Tafa. 7-5, coming off a win to Kevin Christian, who might be again somebody that we shouldn't be saying in the UFC caliber of a the octagon, bro. But I think Junior's getting a little bit better here. I will say this: Baranowski's probably going to be a big favorite here. I think he's live to take an upset. I think the best way to play this fight is unders. I mean, I don't know. Sometimes these fights get greasy if these guys can't knock each other out too. I kind of like Junior Tafa here. I'm gonna go out. This is like kind of like my men of field pick from last week. I think he has the ability to knock him out in the first round. I think if you watch that Baranowski Aslan fight, like I know he won in 90 seconds, but he also lost in 30 seconds. So I question his ability to not take a punch, and if he's just going to stand there with Junior Tafa, he definitely has the KO power to put him out there in 37 seconds where you're down, knocked out. And yeah, this fight could be a train wreck here. I don't want, but and ideally, I also can see this fight not being a train wreck. But it's Junior Tafa fight. That's why I'm picking Junior Tafa, because in a train wreck fight, I want the guy that's built for train wrecks. Like Baranowski, I don't think he's built for a train wreck. He really hasn't been tested like that too much. And like I said, the one time he has, it was Ibo Aslan, and I don't know how he didn't get finished. I mean, everybody picked Baranowski too. He came back for the win, and he still lost in 30 seconds. So very scared for him here. Definitely on one of my upsets of the week is Baranowski. Just because it's really, really hard to believe in him. And I just think if you think he has a chance to knock Tafa out in the same minutes, I just don't necessarily think Tafa is as easy as an out. I mean, Billy Elikana, he took him down. Like, these guys are taking him down. I don't think Baranowski's going in there for some takedowns. You know what I mean? Walter Walker, the DeLima fight was a bad one. But I think that was his last heavyweight fight, and then he came down to light heavyweight after that. So I really do think he has a lot of potential if he's not getting taken down by Baranowski, and I really think he has no takedown. I think Junior Tafa, you should, him KO, him in the win in the first round is live again. I think this fight finishing in the first round again is something that is super spicy, and I can't believe I'm picking a Junior Tafa. But I just, at that price tag, it just seems wrong for Baranowski. So I like Junior Tafa there. Let's go, baby. Next up, bantamweight bout. We got Bryce Mitchell, 18-4 against Santiago Luna, 8-0. And yeah, the freaking thug nasty Mitchell against Santiago Luna. Mitchell's last fight was he fights so many other people. Syed last year, so got canceled. Victor Henry and rescheduled actually for this week. Santiago Luna, who was I think he made his debut on the fight night. He's had 2 fight nights, and man, what a tough matchup to get thrown into. I think there's just not a good spot for Santiago Luna here. I mean Bryce Mitchell money line is, I don't think odds they should be. I think they should be blowing out closer to -200. I think this guy Bryce Mitchell's a super talented fighter. This guy Luna really hasn't been proven against anybody, and I mean the one thing is when you get, like I said, when you get beat up by Topuria, when you get beat up by John Silva, when you get beat up by Josh Emmett, you come back and get better in the off season because you ain't gonna try and die like that again. So I think Bryce Mitchell here. I think Bryce Mitchell could sub him. I think Bryce Mitchell can get him anyway. I think Bryce Mitchell money line is money. I think him and the next guy that I like, you could probably put together, and I feel really confident about that. So next up, lightweight bout, we got Faraz Zayam versus Tom Nolan. Zayam 18-4, coming off a win versus Tom Nolan 10-1. Looking pretty solid. Nolan wins against Charlie Campbell, Borashev, Alex Reyes, Victor Martinez, and his losses to Nicholas Mota, who you're going to put Mota against Siam. But, I mean, that's a long time ago. We're stretching there. Not really too long. He's pretty active, Tom Nolan, against Faraz Zayam, and he's been on an absolute tear. KOing everybody. Saidakov, win against Mike Davis, beat Matt Frivola. Claudio Polisis, but that's going on 2 years, Herbert. And yeah, unless Nolan's going to come in there and really work some grappling, I mean, that's got to be the only place you could really see a weakness in Zayam's game, but I think he's just got so much length, so much ability, a lot of and I don't know, man. It could be also one of those. He hasn't really fought somebody big like this. I'm kind of worried about him catching like one of those big guy KOs where like they're money against the little guys, but the big guys come in and they're a little bit stronger. I think Tom Nolan should be super live for a KO, but I think Zayam is gonna dance. I think he'll pick him apart, and it'll be really frustrating for Tom Nolan fans. It's just I think this guy Zayam's got the game plan and the mentality to implement it into the UFC, and he's had success even in spots that he's been put into and just absolutely flushing guys. So long time ago since he's tasted a loss, and this could be a greasy fight coming in there. It's going to be tough to finish another guy. So Zayam by decision, probably pretty greasy fight. Just going to be close. You're going to want, it's just going to, I don't know, man. This one's going to be tight, but I think Zayam's going to get the win. I mean, I wouldn't pick against him either. I like Tom Nolan, but I don't know. I just think the guys that he's fought are not up to the guys that Zayam has even beat, too. So let's go Faraz. Next up, middleweight bout, Brendan Allen versus Edmund Shabazian. Allen 26-7. Coming off a win versus Shabazian, 16-5. Last win, Shabazian, Andre Muniz, Andre Petrosky, Dylan Budka lost to Mearshart, Dobson, and beat Dobson, lost to Hernandez. And Allen by submission here. I don't necessarily think it happens, but I can't see Edmund getting the better of Brendan Allen. Like I said, there's levels to the game, and I think Allen clearly only loses to specimens in the decision in the division, I should say. So I don't think Shabazian's that specimen that really puts him out. So I think he definitely is live for his classic rear naked choke. I think he's live for a decision win. I think he's live for a greasy decision win. I think this one's going to be closer. I don't know. I like Allen here. It's hard to pick against him, man. Like you said, unless the guy's got shooting up for the unless he's like in a title eliminator, those are like the times he loses. So I don't see him losing here. I think he's a really good fighter, really good mentality, and just built to the game. So one of those. I like Brendan Allen here, big time Brendan Allen. That's going to lead us to the main event. Bilal Bully B. Muhammad against Gabriel Bonfim. 24-5 Muhammad loss to, was that Brady last time? And he's got Gabriel Bonfim 19-1. Beat Randy Brown, Wonder Boy, Chaos Williams, Angelusa before his last loss to Nicholas Dalby, which was a massive favorite loss when he got freaking gut punched and just couldn't hang. And yeah, I just see him having a tough time with Muhammad as well. It's just one of those things that it's like these guys are so solid. They're just, it's so, the levels in the UFC of playing for, fighting and winning the belts, and your aspirations there, like Bonfim has, are just massive. And is he going to be able to take down? Is he going to be able to out-volume Muhammad? I mean, this got Bully B decision written all over it. I mean, this is just going to be a long day for Bonfim. I honestly think he could maybe even get like a doctor stoppage just because if he does a lot of damage. I mean, Bully B, it doesn't even matter. You could have 1.5 arms. He's still just going to sit in there and fight with you on that given day like he did against Gilbert Burns. So I really find it incredibly difficult to think Muhammad's going to lose to somebody like Bonfim. If he does, he's probably going to have to get starched and put out. Um, Something nasty up the middle, something straight down Broadway, and just break the barrier of Bully B Muhammad. But I ain't picking that to happen. It'd be cool if if we saw it happen, the OMG moments. But I think Muhammad's just so much of a better fighter. I think his volume, his defense, his offense. I think he'll just win decision. Muhammad decision. We'll do a quick recap here. Feeling great about this week. We're gonna have another monster winning week here. I like the spots that we're in. I like a lot of these matchups, just like I kind of liked them last week. Uber fade the Carnelosi. You pick Sousa. We're gonna go Chavez. We got Brito, Cachoeira, Bruno Silva, Marcus McGee, Alessandro Costa, Junior Tafa, Bryce Mitchell, Zayam, Brandon Allen, and Bully B Muhammad. Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, put your picks in the comments section. I'll send you $100 if you comment 100% of the picks right for the fight weekend. Like, comment, subscribe if you made it this far. Thank you so much for the support. Take care of yourselves, your family, and your friends, and peace and love.